Welcome, listeners, to the Lust for Life podcast. This is your host, Tennessee Reed. This week was a monster. It really was. It was a hard week. It was the first time in about 5 months that I felt like I completely, basically resorted back to my old thoughts and my old ways. And I very much felt like a hypocrite this week. I felt like all my work that I've done was completely reversed, and I totally reverted back to my old ways, and it scared me. So I thought this would be the perfect thing to talk about on a podcast that takes you on a journey of developing emotional intelligence. So I'm glad you're here. I'm going to get vulnerable with you today because that's how we connect. That's how we connect as humans. So I will start by saying we all have demons in our head, every single one of us. No matter how good you are, no matter how mastered of your mind you are, we all have those demons. We really do. It's just how we handle them and how we give value to them. Some people have more than others because we value them more than others. This week, I gave value to them and it crushed me. I'm honestly exhausted doing this podcast right now because of how much energy it took from me. The theme of this week is no thought lives in your head rent-free. Whether it's positive or negative, you're either moving forward or you're moving backward, or you're sinking. There's no such thing as stagnation in life. There's no such thing as stagnation in self-improvement. You're either moving forward on that beach, but if you stop walking, that wave is going to swipe you right through. And I stopped this week and I sunk in the sand and got wrecked by the waves. I had a really hard week. I had some interactions with individuals that really crushed me. I was giving energy to things that just absorbed my energy and it was not reciprocated. And this has been building up the last few weeks, but it really, really hit me this week. I was not addressing the last few weeks. I wish I would have because I feel like it wouldn't have built up so high. So quick side lesson is if things are not going well, nip it in the butt right away so that it doesn't build up because I promise you it will come bite you later. So if something is bothering you, say it right then, nip it in the butt, talk about it, have that crucial conversation. I did not have that crucial conversation and it completely wrecked me this week, and I chose to give value to negative thoughts. So like I said, I had some really tough interactions with individuals this week, and I reverted back to my old ways. I really fixated on the things that they were doing wrong instead of the things that they were doing right and what I was grateful for. I really fixated on them. And when I fixate on things in my old ways is I blow things out of proportion. I think about it and then I think about it and I think about it some more until it's like days later. And I'm like, I've literally lost sleep. I've lost energy. I'm not eating well. I'm not exercising. I'm not motivated to get up in the morning. Everything is lost because I gave 10 minutes to my husband and said, I need you to listen to me for 10 minutes. And I just vented for 10 minutes maliciously because I just needed to let it out. But I did not end it at 10 minutes. I continued to think about those negative thoughts and they ate at me. That was not rent-free. That was not rent-free at all. Like I said, I'm exhausted doing this podcast tonight. Something that I really learned this week is positivity and bringing positive energy takes a lot of energy. It's easy to be negative. It's really easy because it's our default as humans. It really is. Our default as a human is suffering and sadness and making ourselves victims because that's what we're used to. We're familiar with that. And we are definitely creatures of habit. So we love being miserable. We love being miserable and it's easy because we've practiced it so many times. We have practiced it, and I did for 22 years. Being positive takes energy. It also gives you energy too, though. So being miserable is easy, but it drains you of energy. Being positive, you have to put energy into it, but it builds you up. It gives you energy. So it's a sacrifice. So I gave these thoughts, these negative thoughts, a lot of value, and they really, really destroyed me. And I didn't even want to get up in the mornings. I didn't want to exercise in the mornings. And I felt guilty for being the way I was. I feel like I'd come so far. I was, preaching on my podcast, and then all of a sudden I got hit by a train this week with negativity, and I gave value to it. I was worried I wasn't going to get out of this funk. So I thought, like how am I going to get out of this funk? How am I going to do it? And I thought, I'm going to serve those people that I am thinking about negatively. I'm going to serve them. So I took a couple hours and I wrote them letters of all the things I appreciated about them. And I sincerely meant it. I sincerely meant it. And I didn't even need to give them those letters for me to know how much those helped me. It really put a new perspective in me of what they provide to the table and really focus on what they are doing right and love them for that. Just because someone, is doing something wrong doesn't mean that a crucial conversation can't take place and be fixed. It may not be the right time, but that doesn't mean that can't happen. So I really learned to serve those individuals this week. And I think that was kind of the boost to kind of get me out of my funk. It really was. It really boosted me forward. It got me out of my own head and it got me thinking about others. So that's another one of my backstops I'm going to add for myself is, my first one was exercising, getting outside. And my second one is serving others and getting out of my own thoughts and victimizing thoughts. Because you can't victimize yourself when you're serving others. You can't be miserable when you're helping others. So I encourage you to also think about that. Is that something that would help you? It's not easy to get started when you're in negative thought process to jump up and go serve someone. It takes energy because it's positive. It takes a lot of energy, but it gives you energy. The universe and God gives you that energy back. An experience this week that I thought was pretty cool that I thought I'd share is one of these mornings, my alarm went off and I did not want to get up. I did not. And my husband and I get up together and work out at the gym together. And he turned to me and I said, not today. This is not going to happen today. I'm sleeping in today because I will feel better if I do. I'm out of energy because of how much negativity is going on. I'm out of it. I'm drained. And he sat there and said, no, you're not. You're coming with me. He would sit there and badger me until I came. I should not need someone to badger me to help me get to my goals, but it sure helps. So Jake, my husband, is the main member in my foxhole. He knows my goals. He knows me when I'm in a funk like that I need that assistance to help get out. And he didn't do it for me. He just reminded me and badgered me of why I get up every morning. And when he's feeling the same way, I'm going to do the same thing to him. And I have in the past. And, we're in each other's foxhole and we help each other that way. So if you have members of your foxhole, that are injured, down emotionally, make sure you reach out to them. Make sure that you're there for them when they're weak and they'll be there for you when you are. I was really thinking about, how frustrating it is that success is not linear or exponential. Success is very much an up and down line that has a median incline. It's frustrating sometimes that success has lows and it has highs. It's like an emotional roller coaster, literally. I guess I just hit one of those lows this week. The awesome part is that I'm on my way back up. So I'm excited to see how high this high is going to get. And I hope to keep it there as long as I can. And something that I really felt like triggered this negative emotional response of mine is I stopped listening to books. And for a couple weeks, I finished my last book and I just didn't really have one queued up yet. And so I just kind of took a break and just listened to music while I was working out or didn't really listen to anything, on my drive to work and everything. And I think that really made a big difference. It really did. I started listening to positive books again yesterday and today, and I feel so different. I feel so different. I feel motivated. I feel energized, more energized. I still feel tired. Tonight I'm tired, but I feel more like my positive self and I'm feeling encouraged. And I'm glad I had this experience of, negativity and stress so that I know that I can get out of this funk because it's quite scary when you're at the bottom of the barrel sometimes to know, like, how am I going to get out? How am I going to get back up to where I was? I'm never going to get there. These thoughts just fill your head and you've been there. Everyone's been there. So it was really encouraging for me to know that I can add another backstop onto my skills of um, getting myself back up, picking myself back up. We're all going to fall down. We're all going to get slapped in the face by life. But just having those backstops. And I guess I can add another backstop to mine is positive books and positive messages, webinars, podcasts. So I really like to walk outside, get the blood flowing in my brain, listen to positive words, and serve others. I would try to serve someone every single day. And if an opportunity comes up, I definitely take it. This was a hard week, but I'm glad it happened. If any of you are going through anything similar or have in the past, which I would bet my bottom dollar that all of us have been through something similar, you should find your backstops. Find what gets you back up on your feet. Even if it's so hard to do it, you just have to get started. You just have to open that book. You just have to get to the gym. You just have to get outside. Whatever it is, just get started. And then you'd be surprised just how much energy you get back from just starting that little step. So I encourage you all to find your way back up. How do you pick yourself back up when you're in those lulls, when you're in the negativity swirl and black hole? And I hope you all enjoyed this episode today. I'm so grateful I was able to make it, even though it was a hard experience. I'm grateful I had it. And I look forward to having you all back next week.